Welcome to the So You Missed Church podcast. We are happy to have you here with us today. Happy Monday to you. This is Clint Daly, and I'm hoping that if you went to church this week, you got something from it. You benefited from it. But if you missed church this week, or maybe you just couldn't go, maybe you didn't even miss it, we're still hoping we can get your week started in a positive way. You know, I have never in my lifetime been skydiving. And I'll be honest, it doesn't really appeal to me all that much. Plus, I kind of feel like if I did go skydiving and I did die while intentionally jumping out of an airplane that is eventually going to land safely, and then I stand before God afterward, he's probably going to squint at me for like a really long time. Probably going to rub his eyes. Yeah, I don't think I could deal with that. But I do know a number of people who have gone skydiving, and they say when you do your skydiving training that they all say the same thing. If you pull your ripcord and your parachute doesn't open, you cannot panic. You must keep your head in that situation because after all, you have the rest of your life to try to figure things out. But see, here's the thing. Our feelings, like in that panic situation, they can get loud really, really fast. Like say you're at work. You're doing fine, you're working away, and the next minute, your mind is absolutely racing. It's telling you stories you never even signed up for. Your brain starts smashing you with scenarios that are completely unexpected. Maybe you start picturing a financial crisis. Maybe you start picturing a health scare. Tension at your home with your family, with your parents, with your kids. Maybe you picture your parents or your kids struggling. And suddenly, your feelings take over completely. And they start narrating everything, and not in a good way either. They're saying things like, just so you know, this isn't going to work out. This is how it's always going to be. You're stuck. You can't change this situation, and it is completely unavoidable. And here's the thing. If we're not careful, we kind of start agreeing with it, don't we? Not because we want to, but because it does feel absolutely real. And here's the thing we have to keep in mind. Feelings are real. We obviously feel them. We actually aren't crazy. Feelings like that many times are our brains trying to keep us from danger. Hey, something could be coming, be aware. But our feelings were never meant to be in charge of us. They're information. They're not authority. And I know that today, we have a ton of people being diagnosed every single day with some sort of anxiety, social anxiety, or general anxiety, or whatever anxiety that we can possibly put a clinical name on. But here's something crazy. The Apostle Paul knew exactly what anxiety felt like. He had something that he referred to as a thorn, something that wouldn't go away no matter how many times he prayed. Here's what Paul says in his second letter to the church at Corinth. In chapter 12, it says in verse 7, "Therefore, in order to keep me from being conceited, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me." Hey, 3 different times, Paul asked God, take away this thorn, take away this fear, this torment, this anxiety. And 3 times, the answer seems to have been the same, because we read later in verse 9, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." Okay, now let's pause there for just a second. Because if I'm being honest, if I am Paul, I probably want a different answer. Have you ever just prayed, God, please just take this fear from me? Please just take this stress from me. Please help me stop worrying so much, because I feel like I'm going crazy because I'm constantly on the edge of panic. Well, here's the thing. We aren't alone. This isn't brand new. We actually don't have the patent on stress and anxiety in this generation like we think we do. Paul felt the exact same thing, but Paul had a choice in that moment. And that is what I want to learn from today. See, he could let his struggle keep controlling him and telling his story for him, or he could let God's truth take over his story and speak for him instead. He chose the latter. Here's the one key I want you to keep in mind. He didn't pretend the struggles weren't there. He didn't deny his weakness. He just refused to let it define him. Instead, he said, okay, if this is where I am, then this is where God's power is going to show up. And that alone kind of changes everything. Because suddenly the story changes from, okay, this is never going to change. My anxiety will never go away. I am living in a prison in my mind, to, wait, God's doing something here. He's working on me. And eventually, I'm going to improve from it. So that is the invitation for us. Hey, your situation might be real. You might be going through real, true, honest, difficult situations. You might be facing a trial, or your feelings might be talking loud, and that is all you can hear day and night. But remember, your feelings don't get the final word. God does. So instead of letting fear finish your story, what should we do? Hey, give the pen back to him. And we say, Lord, you tell the story. But understand this, those feelings we have, they're not a life sentence. What they are is an invitation to let God narrate our story. So let me ask you this, what would it look like to capture that fear, all those fears that are speaking to you, and say, you know what, I'm just going to trust that God is working on me. He's working on something specific. Okay, I have this fear. I'm getting overwhelmed by it. But I honestly believe that this fear is something that is going to make me a better parent, a better son or daughter, a better sibling, a better friend, a better coworker. And you know what? This fear is going to bring me closer to God, because I am going to trust that He's going to write my story far better than I could ever write it. I can't change it anyway. Sometimes I do get overwhelmed. But like Paul tells us, when I am weak, then I am actually strong. Changing that narrative in our heads to understand those feelings are not our authority. Those feelings are just a chance for us to get closer to God, because He's working on us. Hey, remember, you can always contact us at youmisschurch@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear what you have to say. You can follow us over on Facebook or X at YouMissChurch, and you can subscribe to the podcast pretty much anywhere that podcasts are hosted. Just search You Miss Church and it's probably going to come up for you. If nothing else, you can find us over on YouTube. Hey, I wish you all a very happy Monday, and I hope that you have a great week.